I'll just wait a couple of minutes just to wait for everybody to arrive. Sorry, can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, Stacey, the sound is actually fine. I think Dr. Prey needs to turn their sound up.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just reading the comments here to see who's all with us. We've got a couple of people still coming through, so we'll just give it a couple more minutes. Okay, for anyone new who's joining, please add your name and which centre you're from in the chat box, just so we know who's here and who we're all talking to. It's always nice to know which centre you're from and, of course, your name. So please add that into the chat. I'm just going to give it another minute and then I will start the presentation. Okay, great. Sorry, Marcella, I'm just going to ask, you can see my screen okay?
Yep, all good.
Perfect. Okay, guys, let's get started. So my name is Stacey. I am the Global Social Media Manager for NCC. And I'd like to welcome you all here today as we talk about how to market the NCC education materials, all the marketing materials that we send out to you. We're going to talk today about how you can market it and use it for your centre. If you have any questions, please feel free to either raise your hand or add them in the chat box whilst we're going through the presentation. I do ask if you just keep your mic muted just in case there's any background noises that might deter other people from hearing me example. So yeah, let's start. So when you become a centre with the NCC, we always send you a virtual welcome pack. And inside that virtual welcome pack, it's, sorry, I'm just turning off the lobby section so we can. So inside the welcome pack, you will receive, as a digital welcome pack, so you'll receive a zip file that contains the corporate brochure, our What's Next, which is the university progression booklets, our logos, some previous newsletters, as well as our marketing guidelines. Now, I've highlighted the logos and the marketing guidelines as I want to talk about those first, as they're the most important thing that we give to you. The marketing guidelines show you how to use our things like our logos and what we offer our centres and what we could offer students. So it gives you that breakdown, and you all should receive it. We send out as it's updated to new centres, to existing centres. We send all a copy of it. It also gives an example of how to make placement of the logos, how to use the university logos, that's what rights there are regarding those. It also shows you our brand colors and all our fonts, etc., that we use. So it's quite good in terms of understanding how our brand can work with yours and what's basically the rules regarding our brand and whenever you're using our branding. So one of the key points about, sorry, there's lots of people coming through in the lobby. I'm just going to.
Stacey, there's also a bunch of NCC people who can't get in. I'm trying to forward them the invites. They don't seem to have the correct invites. I can't seem to do it now that I'm actually in the meeting. So I'm going to go out and then I'll try and come back in. All right.
Okay, no problem. I'll just wait a couple
Yeah,
seconds.
no, you can't wait because obviously we have people who've joined the meeting on time.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the most important aspect of marketing the NCC programs is obviously our logo. It's our branding. It's people recognize our brand, so that's what helps your brand is with our logo. And inside the guidelines, you'll see that there's the guidelines in terms of how to use our logo. So we have two variations. And we have a new logo probably in the last 2 years. So you will see that it's now on a navy background. Before that was a lighter blue option, but now we have a navy one. So we have got a navy version. So you'll see on the left-hand side here, we've got the navy background with the white logo. So if you want to use our white logo, it must always be in a darker background like it is there. Otherwise, if you look on the right-hand side, we show you different versions on how to use our logo. The navy version on a white background, or if you have a slightly colored background, which you will see throughout the presentation. You have, like any logo, there's a certain way that the logo must be presented. So it must always be straight. It should never be stretched. It should include the little cloud that it sits in. It should include our tagline, which is awarding great British qualifications. It should never be skewed in any way. We also ask that you don't try and translate it into your own language. It must be as we send it. So that's the logo versions. We always send that in the virtual welcome pack as well. Another thing that's always included is our corporate brochure that we do update. And the corporate brochure is a great tool for you, not only for you yourself, your center, for any staff you have in your center, but it's also great for your students. It helps them see the different qualifications that NCC offers, and as well as what career options they can take and where they can go further on in further studies. So it's great in terms of building brand awareness of the NCC partnership that you have, and showing, for example, the milestones of NCC to potential students or potential students' parents. So they understand that there is authenticity with our brand, and it's a long-standing brand, and it's been around for a long time. So that just helps in terms of when you're trying to onboard students or trying to convince parents that the program is a great thing, because we've been around for a very long time. In the corporate brochure, they can also see the full listing of all the programs that we offer, which is nice. So even if you don't offer our all the full pathways, you can see the different options there, and it definitely does help with a student trying to decide which course to go with. They can also see the progression, and then they can also see what's next with the university progression. And this is always just a great tool. Again, the corporate brochure is very great for you to use. It is available as a PDF, which you can send out. You can also host it on your website. But it's great because if a student sees it, they can see the student journey, they can see where they can progress to, they can see what's available for them through the NCC partnership they have with you. So these are all tools that I've taken out of, these are all slides that I've taken out of materials that you would have. So like this is from our corporate brochure. So having this on your website for a potential student to flip through, if you print copies out within your center, or even if you have one printed copy to show potential students. These are tools that you can use in your center to help with student recruitment, to help existing students to figure out what their journey, what they want their journey to be. These are all great tools to use. The other great tool is obviously the what's next. So once they've completed and they want to think about their university progressions, especially they want to progress to our UK university, the what next progression booklets gives you all that information. It shows over the agreements and recognitions of the NCC programs to all the different countries, to other universities that they can progress to. So again, another really great tool. Another great tool that we have is our corporate video, which you can find on our YouTube page if you don't have it or you haven't seen it. And you can share that YouTube link on your social media, on your websites. Again, it just reiterates the partnership you have with the NCC brand. And it, again, is a great tool to show potential students, current students, potential students' parents when they're thinking about further education for their children. We are busy creating new videos that will include all our different pathways and all our different programs. So then again, that's something you can then share if you do specific programs or a specific pathway. You can then share on all your platforms. We do offer, if you want a copy of the company video as to post on your own platforms, or if you want it co-branded, we are open to that, but that's a conversation you must have with your business development manager. So we always talk about the marketing collateral that we provide. It's just to kind of reiterate that we provide it to help you obviously sell the program to students or students' parents, and it's to help promote the NC brand within your center so that people know that there's a partnership. So this is some examples of some of the marketing collateral you would have seen. You can also download it on our websites. So if you are doing an open day, or if you do banners inside your center, we can send you co-branded banners like in the bottom left corner there. We also have our IT and business pathway flyers that we can co-brand for you. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. There's obviously also the program sheets for whatever programs you are offering that we do co-brand and send to you as you're accredited. If you're an existing center and you don't have anything like that, again, please put the request through to your business development manager, and we'll happily do those for you. And there's also, we used to do some magazines. We do newsletters every 2 to 3 months, which we can send. And then inside the virtual welcome pack, it also includes existing copies. So you always have the previous versions. So talking about the program sheets again. So the program sheets, as you're accredited for a program, we will create the program sheets for you. Again, if you haven't received yet, or if you're an existing center and you want a newer version, you can send a request to the BDM. But the program sheets are great in terms of collateral that you can print in your center, or you can, these are examples of co-branded program sheets. So you can see on the left-hand side is the NCC logo, and then on the right-hand side will be the co-branded. For example, we use Computer Pride here. This one's got functional skills in the middle, and then this one on the right-hand side is Invictus. So this is an example of how we do the co-branded versions. So we'll add your logo, and we'll also add on the bottom left-hand corner will be your website. And then on the back page, we will have your contact information. So it will be your address, your contact number, website, and contact email. So all that information is on there. The only thing that has the NCC information is obviously our logo and all the program information. But otherwise, it's co-branded with your information. So if you wanted to print this out or add it onto your website and a student downloads it, it's got your contact information so they can contact you directly. So these are the different types of program sheets. So obviously the different programs. Depending on which region you are, we can also change the images to suit your demographics. So that is something that we do for, well, more, if you're a new center, we'll do it. Like I said, if you're an existing center, you want updated versions, you haven't had it for a couple of years, then just send an email through to your BDM and we can update those with our new ones with the co-branded versions. These are great to add them to your websites, have your students be able to download them because it's great information for them to see what the program includes. And then also if you want to print some out, these are great for like open days, print a couple out to show potential students the program, what it includes, the benefits, what their progression options are. We also do the co-branded social media posts. So, for example, these are all co-branded down here. So what we'll do is whatever programs that you offer, we will create you a couple of co-branded social media posts. We generally like to use the terms like for a level 4 diploma, we'll say a first year of a British degree. We are also open to, if it's a specific words that you use in your country, we can also alter that to suit your demographics and your country, what the requirements are there, just so it's easier. Because what's great is that then if you post these onto your social media platforms, they've got primarily got your logo. Obviously the NCC logo features there to tell people that's an NCC program, but it's got your logo. You can post it onto all your social media platforms. You can include a little description about the program and then obviously a link to wherever or contact information of how you want them to sign up. So that call to action is obviously important. We then again also co-brand these according to your region in terms of the imagery, the demographics, but we always add your logo. That's why we always ask you for a very high resolution logo, just because it's easier for us. If it's a low resolution, it generally pixelates. So when we create the images like this, it goes a bit fuzzy. So high quality logos are great. Even if you want to, you're welcome to send us pictures of students. We can also help in terms of doing things like that, where we use your images alongside your logo for the co-branded social media posts. You'll see there in the top right hand corner, we've got one that's got a bit of text and it says name of students. That's a co-branded student testimonial. We love getting student testimonials and posting it onto our social media platforms. So please send us those as soon as you get them. And this is a new one we've gone now with a co-brand where we add in your center's logo. If you want to get testimonials, we have a form that gives us permission to use the testimonials as well. But having the students name the program that they completed and a nice quote about why they chose the course or what was their experience through it, things like that are great for posting onto social media, great for your websites, because what it does is it actually helps our potential students will read it and will think, okay, you know what, that person really enjoyed the course. I want to do it as well. So it's great in terms of creating that awareness and you convert to sign to register with your center. Sorry, I've got somebody whose mic's. There we go. So yeah, so social media posts are very important, especially when they're we call them evergreen. So evergreen content is content that's generic in terms that can be used over and over and over. And the message is the same. So, for example, the programs that you do, that's an evergreen. It's you. going to sorry, let me just mute this person.
Ja, die wordt kan we. Okay, boss. Good class.
Yeah, so it's evergreen content. So it's about building up your brand awareness and having things consistently on your platforms. So for example, the co-branded, talking about what programs you do, testimonials, things that potential students who come onto your platforms who will always see it. These are the types of things that we try and help you with by offering you this co-branded posts. But again, we need the information from you to help. So please, if you want us to do anything such as these co-branded and you haven't received them yet, please send an email to your BDM and they will help facilitate that. Also, we are always saying how much we love hearing your stories. If you have any success stories with students, if you're having a graduation, things like that, those are great. We will post them on our own platforms, and then we will obviously then share it onto the other platforms. And it's just great in terms of creating that brand awareness of a partnership with ourselves and helping you boost your student recruitment as well. So that's what you want to do. That's what marketing helps you do. It creates brand awareness and then also becomes a lead generation tool for you in terms of how to recruit students. And if they're constantly seeing content from us, from NCC, and as well on your center page, it just kind of creates this holistic plan in terms of, okay, you know what, I've seen this quite a lot of times, let me find out more information. So marketing is it's silent sometimes because it's always in the back of the person's mind. So if I see your post today and I see it the next day, you're going to be in the back of my mind. I'm going to think about you. So that's what you want to kind of do. That's why we're always asking you for content, because if we share content from your center and a potential student sees it and then you share something and that same student sees it, then it's just reiterating that partnership and it's creating that lead generation for you, which will help boost your student recruitment. So I mentioned, I mentioned flyers. So we've started creating a lot more co-branded flyers. And just to give an example of these two that we've done. So one is a pathway. It's the business pathway, the computing pathway, sorry, on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, we've got one for Species College in Zimbabwe. These co-brands, we will create them and then send them on to you, and you, for example, can print them out. If you're having an open day, or even if you're not having an open day, you have, for example, if you do a pamphlet drop in a school, for example, these are great because if potential students haven't heard about you or they're not quite sure in terms of what programs you offer or how you can assist them, you can drop something like this off, which, for example, if it's near the end of the year and matriculants are looking for what to do next, it's a perfect kind of time to speak to a school, see if you can't drop off some flyers. Even with the pathway one, talking about what they can then do, helping them choose the career options by giving them these opportunities and flyers and showing them what opportunities there are out there. It's great to do. It's great awareness for you to do things like that. And if you're having an open day, you can have these printed, or you can, again, have them on your website. A lot of, I think since COVID, everything's become quite digital. So having things like this on your websites, on your social media platforms is great because it goes hand in hand with each other. Just having as much information out there for your potential students to help them make a decision to choose your center, to choose the NCC programs. It definitely does make a difference. We always like to talk about the messaging when it comes to the NCC programs and how you put that message out there. So obviously the fact that it's we award Great British qualification, specifically, and if you're in a different country, different countries, that's quite a selling point, because it shows that I can't remember the word, I'm sorry, but it just helps bring that are globally recognized, and a lot of people want that opportunity to study a UK degree or a UK diploma, and then possibly with the chance of going to a different country, and also the fact that they can study it in their own country without actually having to travel. Is quite expensive to travel, things like that. So using the messaging to make people aware that it is a British education that they're going to be doing definitely helps convert those potential students. It holds a lot of weight in terms of the value of the programs, the high quality British education. So using words such as those, they're affordable and flexible courses. They're globally recognized British qualifications with university progression routes. So you'll see there on the left-hand side, there's some key phrases that you can use on all your advertising. We also included some quotes there, which you can find in the marketing guidelines. We have included that from the marketing guidelines. So everything I've shown you today, or so far, has all been in materials that we have sent you. And the purpose today is just to show you exactly how you can use it, what's the best way to use it. So using things like complete a British qualification without having to travel to the UK. Like I said, that British qualification is quite important, and it's something you should take advantage of using in the messaging when it comes to advertising the NCC programs. So I've spoken a lot about different materials and how you can use it to your advantage to help boost student recruitment. So we've just got a slide here to give you some examples. So as well as with all these materials, you can get, I mentioned student testimonials. So getting your students to send testimonials, again, telling you why they liked the program, why they chose it, how they found the experience. Video content in terms of that, so getting them to do a video whilst they're in your center is really great. Leverage any stories that you have, any high achievers, any stories. So someone who's done a complete pathway with you, they're now going to progress onto university, get them to do that story about why they started the course with you, their journey throughout, any difficulties they have, and how they overcome those. So those are really great stories. Like, again, it reiterates for potential students who isn't so sure. They see stories like that. It really helps them buy in. So do lots of things like that. Another thing you can do is you can add a banner on your websites about the NCC programs. You can have a blog post on your websites. You can just add in lots of information on your website. What that also does is it helps when it comes to Google. If you have that information on your websites, if you have an SEO person who does any SEO for you, where they do all the keywords, having the keywords with your partnership with NCC Education, offering British qualifications, things like that will generally, when some students in your country is now searching for to do a course, that will help bring your search right to the top, your page right to the top of the search, just to help them choose you first. So that definitely does help as well. If you sign up for any new programs, make sure you do a press release, or you can do a blog on your websites, plus share on all of your platforms. If you're having graduations, open days, events, anything like that, you're giving away awards, share that with us. We can post it onto our blog as well. We love receiving any PR from our centres that we can share on all of our platforms, on our LinkedIn page, on our website. We can post on our news and releases section on our website. Another way you can boost student recruitment is by offering rewards. Like if they sign up early, they receive a discount, offering them things like a free laptop, bursaries and scholarship. Obviously, that's all up to you. We're just giving you ideas here in terms of what you can do. Incentivize student registrations. So you could do, if you have a student sign up and they've come from a school that no one else has signed up, for example, or they've got a group of friends who haven't made the decision yet, incentivize the student to help bring on friends and things like that. Obviously, making sure that they want to do it, because otherwise it's that will cause issues. But anyway, then ask your audience to follow you on social media, offer them prizes. It doesn't have to be courses or anything relating to giving them a scholarship or a bursary. It could be giving them free promotional material, because what happens then is, for example, if you give backpacks or caps and pens and things like that, a lot of students will then wear those things, and amongst other friends, they might go to public places, and then there's other potential students there. So what it does is it creates a brand awareness for you. So having things like that definitely helps boost your student recruitment. Obviously, social media. We speak a lot about social media. We did a Facebook advertising workshop last month, and I'm sure later on in the year we'll also do another one in terms of how to do more promoting on social media and the different platforms like LinkedIn and LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest. We'll talk about all those later on in the year again as well. But you can see our previous workshops on our YouTube page, or we can send you the link, no problem. I've mentioned doing events, holding events, especially now that COVID is subsiding in certain countries, and if they're able to offer face-to-face events. And even if you're not, do virtual ones. Speak to, for example, again, the schools, and set up virtual events if you can't do face-to-face. But having those people, having potential students on your grounds, on your centre, seeing what the potential for them to go there would look like. And you can have banners showing all the programs that you offer, the flyers that we've spoken about, doing school visits. I mentioned that as well. And then also doing events partnered with us, with the NCC. We can do different events where the department heads can talk about the different programs that you offer, if they want to progress to the postgraduates, things like that. We can do a lot of events with you guys as well. That's something, if you want to do, you can speak to your BDM. They generally help with the hosting of it. So yeah, there's lots of options you can do in terms of boosting student recruitment. And here's just some ideas that we've given you. I've shown you some ideas in terms of how to use materials, where to use them. So if anyone has any questions, I'd like to open it up now, because I know I've given you a lot of information, but some people might have specific questions. I know the one question that has come is if we're going to share this presentation. Yes, we will share this presentation. We'll also share the recordings specifically to anyone in your centre who hasn't been able to attend, or if you want to watch it again with your team to make plans, brainstorm ideas. We will send you that information after today's call. But I'd like to open up and see if anyone has any questions. I'm happy if you put them in the chat, or if you want to put your hand up and start talking, I'm happy with that. And if anyone wants me to go back to any specific slide, I'm happy to do that as well. Any questions? I'll just wait and see if anyone questions for those people who have just joined. Sure, I'll go back to the slide on the logo placement. And
Tracy, one of the other questions I sometimes get is the time frames on co-branded materials. If you wouldn't mind just speaking a little bit about that. Thanks.
Sure, no problem. Okay, so Henry, I'm just going to go to your question first about the logo placements. So in the marketing guidelines that you would have received, and if you haven't received it, we can happily send it to you, share it with you again. We give you examples on how to use our logo. And we also will share with you the different logos that we have. So we have the white option, so that will go in a dark background. And then we have the blue option, the navy blue option that goes onto white or lighter backgrounds. It should always be perfectly straight, like you can see on this top one with the tick. It should never be slanted. It should always include everything. You mustn't alter the logo in any way. So as it comes, you must use it. Obviously, in terms of size, you can obviously alter it, but make sure that you do it in such a way that it's not overstretched and it's not squished, basically, and conformed into a smaller size. It must be legible. So that's why we always show the first example. That's exactly how our logo should be. And that is our correct new logo with the navy blue. And then we've got the white option. So if you don't have our newer version and you would like that, please let us know. We can also send it to you. I see a lot of centers use our older one, which is still fine. It's still relevant. But if you wanted to update your own materials by having our new logo, we can send that through to you. So Marcel had a great question in terms of time frame. So we always say a minimum of 2 weeks when it comes to collateral. That specifically will be to the program sheets and the co-branded. We generally do them together. So there'll be about, we say 2 weeks just to give us time because we have lots of centers that we're doing things for. Videos takes the longest time. And also there can be a lot of, a lot of back and forward with them. And it's also, if there's music onto it, it's making sure the music goes well, etc. So that we always say 4 to 6 weeks, just because it takes a little bit longer. We generally say a minimum of 2 weeks for most collateral, for the what next brochure, things like that. Sometimes it can take a little bit longer, just in terms of how much stuff that we're doing. But we'll say 2 weeks to 6 weeks maximum for videos. Flyers like this can take about 2 weeks for our side to do. Obviously, then it takes us 2 weeks, but then it's still, we've got to send it on to the BDM and then send it on to the relevant center who requested it. So the 2 weeks might become 10 days, 18 days, things like that, just in terms of when we send it and how it gets sent on, kind of thing. So yeah, say 2 weeks, 3 weeks max. And yeah, then you guys will receive it, no problem. We have our marketing email address for anything that you might have related to marketing, but we always prefer requests come through the BDMs. So whoever your business development manager is, it just helps so they know what you're requesting, because we have a lot of collateral that's already been done that's generic. So you can see a lot of generic content that we have that might not specifically be co-branded. So always ask the BDM, because they know what collateral is generic and that they have available. If it's co-branded, where you want us to add your logo to it and your contact information, then that will go to your BDM. They'll send a request to us and it will take about 2 weeks minimum. And that's why it's important to send us high resolution logos. And if you want us to use your students' imagery, then yeah, you can send that out to us in high resolution. It definitely just makes the image a lot clearer, makes it look more presentable, and then we can send it back to you. Yeah, so if you have any graduations and things like that, you have images from from those events. You can send those through to us if they're high resolution. Obviously, getting permission from the students to use it. And then we can post it on our social media platforms as well. So that's why we need permission. And we can also, if they give you permission to use it in your own marketing, co-branded marketing that we do for you, you can send it to us, but making sure that you have that permissions from them, because that's very important. Does Henry, I'm just going to ask that that's the logo placement, everything I answered was what you were wanting to know. I just want to come back to that quickly, just in case that I haven't missed out on anything on that. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions? I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second. Okay, and then I also, if I'm going to just add it into the chat box here quickly. We have got, if there's no more questions about how to market the NCC materials or anything like that, you would have, I see someone's hand up. Heather, do you have a question?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How can I help you?
Please, these slides, I came in a little bit late. How can I get them, please, or the recording?
Yes, we will be sending out the recording along with the presentation after the meeting, so you can go over again. We will send you that.
Oh, I'll receive it in my mail.
Yes, so whatever email address you registered for this event with, we will send it on that email address.
Okay. Yes.
And if you haven't received it, then you can just send a message to your BDM and they can help get it to you as well. But we will send it to everyone who has all the email addresses that are registered here.
All right, thank you.
Perfect. Henry's asked, just to be clear, is it compulsory to add the NC logo alongside our organization logo to our social media promotional materials? It's not. That is up to you. Obviously, if it's an NCC program, the reason why we advise to add our logo is, again, like I've mentioned in the beginning, just to help reiterate that partnership with the NCC brand, to create that brand awareness. But you don't have to add the logo to your social media materials. So if you don't want co-branded material from us, obviously our co-branded material that we send to you will have your logo as well as our logo. But you are more than welcome to create your own materials with just your logo. Obviously, then the program information is obviously all NCC, and but how you want to promote on your platform is up to you in terms of if you want to use our logo or not. We just ask that if you do use anything with our logo, that you send the BDM a copy, and so there we can see how it's looking. And also, if you want to share anything with us, you can share us the links directly to the social media platform, to the websites, wherever it may be housed, and we can have a look at it. So generally, if we have any problems in terms of how you're using the NCC logo, we'll get in contact with you. But yeah, that's why we say stick to the guidelines in terms of how to use our logo, but you don't have to use our logo if you're doing your own social media posting, creating your own graphics about programs, and you don't want to have our logo there. It's just nice to have it because, again, it reiterates the partnership of the program And again, it just reiterates the qualification, the authenticity of it, and the high standing of the British degree, basically. Does anyone have any other questions? No? Okay. I just want to add one thing. It's not in my presentation for some reason. Tomorrow there is a webinar. So if you do the UCLan top-up degrees, or you offer that in your center, or if you're looking to offer that in your center, there is a webinar tomorrow. I'll add it in the email that I send out this afternoon with the information from this meeting. I'll just add it in there, so we'll have the link to the meeting, if the webinar, if you want to register for that. But if you're looking to offer the UCLan top-up degrees, so that will be the BSc Honours Business Computing and Information Systems top-up degree and the Cybersecurity and Networking top-up degree that's validated by University of Central Lancashire. If you offer that program, or you'd like to offer that program in your centre, then join Andrew Rennie is the sales director, and Becky, they're going to be hosting it tomorrow, and it's going to be at 10 a.m. UK time. So if you're wanting to join that, then, well, if you want to offer those programs, or you currently offer the programs, make sure you join. It's going to be a really great session to learn more about how to offer that program to your students, especially with the intake coming up soon. If there's any more questions, please feel free to ask them. Again, for anyone who's just joined, we will be sending a copy of this recording out, as well as the presentation that we used, to everyone who's logged in today. If you don't receive it, you can always find a copy of our workshops on our YouTube channel. Last month we did one on Facebook advertising, how to use paid advertising to help promote your brand on Facebook. Next month's topic hasn't been confirmed yet, but I think it's going to be about how to use a marketing calendar, especially when it comes to like an activity schedule, in terms of keeping in mind when the next intakes are for certain programs, and how you can use a calendar to actually help promote through social media and on all your marketing activities. And we're always looking for new ideas and topics and what to do for our workshops. So if there's anything that you'd like to know and like to learn, please do send us an email. I'll add in our email here. So if you want to send us any suggestions on what to talk about in our topics in the workshop, we do it every generally last Thursday of the month, and we really love your feedback. So if you have any ideas, please feel free to share it with us. There's our email address. So yeah, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for joining. I hope that the session was beneficial for you. So we just showed you through all the materials that we've already given to you as you signed up with us as a center, or we've sent it to you as an existing center. All the materials you already have. So it was just a case of showing you how to use it, where to use it. And if you are still not 100% sure, I've sent our email address there. You're welcome to send us a message. Otherwise, speak to your BDM. And we will send out the recording of this webinar as well as a presentation. So anyone who wants to watch it again, has any questions, can look through it again. If you don't have any of the materials that I have spoken about today, again, you can speak to your business development manager. They will help you out. And you can also have a look on our website to see if there's anything there that you don't have. Majority of our documents on our website can be downloaded that you can use for yourself. And again, if you have any co-branded requests, to send that request through to your business development manager. That's everything from me. So unless anyone has any questions, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. I really hope you can attend the UCLan webinar tomorrow. That information will get sent out in the email that I send after the session. I really do hope you can attend that. If you're offering the UCLan top-up degrees, then definitely check that out. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. UK time. And I hope to see you guys next month for the next marketing workshop. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stacey.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Bye.
Thank you, Stacey.